Okay. Hey guys, I am back. And we're back live and stuff. And let me pin the stuff for you guys. Oh, clicking the wrong things. But let me pin things. I don't know what. There's something else I was going to do. Oh, there they are. Oh, that's something else. I don't know. I clicked something. But anyways, hi, welcome on in to our live. And this is our late night live. This is actually part 2 of our live, where basically I ended off to take a quick break. And we are back now to continue back on, obviously, the live. So where we ended off was the fox. I will obviously go back through with it, obviously, for everyone that's just now joining us again. But hello, I am Delphina. This is Amena Art. Welcome to our live. Now it's obviously very late, but we still have time to talk about art before we go to bed, because what's better than to talk about art before bed? So this piece is Fox, and it's actually painted by our artist, Mia Kay. So that's our artist here at Mia Art. And she painted this piece in 2023, actually. So this is about 2 years old now. And almost 3, probably. But this piece was painted during an event that happens here in Virginia, specifically the Fredericksburg location. And it happens in our historic downtown district, which for anyone that doesn't know too much about history or anything much, here in Virginia, we have a historic downtown district that has a lot of history, being like one of the first towns in the US, being George Washington's birth home and all that other fun stuff, May presidents and all that. But we have a historic downtown district, which once a year we have an event called Art First, and this piece was painted in the 2023 Art First event, where basically artists take over the streets of downtown. And it's a very amazing event. If you ever get the chance to see it, I would recommend you go. But this one specifically, it took about a day to finish. It was done from the start of the event to the very end, maybe even a little bit afterwards. It takes a very long time for these things to be finished from start to finish. But she's an amazing artist, and she managed to finish it in record time. And it took her a full day, even though she wasn't completely happy with the results once it was, finished that day. She originally wanted to redo the tail to make it a little bit fluffier, but she never touched it, she never finished it, and she actually never signed it on the front. And it still is not to this day, even though it is considered finished. That's because on the back it only has its signature, and this makes it very unique, being one of the only paintings here at Amena Art that is not signed on the front of the painting. Instead, it's signed on the back. But it's very gorgeous, and it actually has a lot of detail that you can see in more of her newer works here at Amena Art, which you will see here soon once I bring out the other pieces tonight. But let me bring it a little bit up closer to you guys so you can see a little bit more detail here where you might be struggling from how far it is. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of the beam from the lights here. It's a little bit dark, but it's fine. As you can see, it's got a lot of detail with the actual fox, especially you can see through this part here. It's got a lot of detail here, being obviously the fur, which she does gorgeous detail work in animals and flowers. Those are her specialty, and obviously color, as you can see here. And then she's got like these flowers. They're kind of like very sketchy, I would like to say, which is very cool to see in her designs, because she doesn't usually do the sketchy type of style with the flowers. Usually they aren't like see-through. She usually does them a little bit more fuller, more vibrant. But honestly, she's got some leaves and everything else, It's a very beautiful piece, like gorgeous. So that's kind of up close. You can really see the beautiful detail work that she put into this painting. And of course, the original stands at 48 by 36, so it's actually relatively big. Of course, it is not one of her biggest pieces here at Amena Art, though it is huge in comparison to the next one that we're going to be going over, which is probably only a 36 by, I would like to say 24, but is relatively one of the bigger pieces we have today. Gorgeous though, absolutely. It gives a very calm aura, and honestly, it really eludes the feeling of fall, which I believe we're all looking forward to here now that we're getting into the more cooler season, and summer pretty much ended already. But we're getting to the end of it, and we're getting more to fall, and we're going to see the leaves start falling here, at least in Virginia. Let me know, obviously, if it's already fall where you guys are. But here, it's still relatively green, but soon enough, the leaves will start falling. It will start to get this gorgeous brown that you are seeing here on this painting. And absolutely beautiful, just like this. But really, lose calmness, it lose fall, and I really do think this piece absolutely beautiful. I think we have a comment. Have you had, I do not know what that comment is about, but no, I am completely sober. Hello. But welcome on in and stuff. But my favorite part of showing these originals, of course, is showing the prints that we have with them. This one specifically is our one-of-one collection that we have, which is a framed piece that's actually signed by the artist herself on the back of the print. Of course, we do have other pieces, especially of the fox. We have a lot of prints and things with it, but this one specifically, I am going to be showing you the 12 by 12 one-of-one piece. Now, they should all be pretty similar, but this is this one specifically. So, flipping this around and kind of like putting it next to the original, obviously other than the size, you can see that there's a little bit of a color difference here. It's a little bit darker and more the purple hues for the actual print, while the original is more of this vibrant orange happening here, which at least on the phone, for my own eyes, it looks a little bit more in the brown zone, but, well, in the more purple brown zone, but is absolutely gorgeous still. And this one, it gives more of a darker fall feeling, which I'll bring up close for you all. And more of a darker fall feeling, which I'll bring up close for you all. And honestly, it's just as beautiful as the original. Like, look how gorgeous that is. The colors, and you can really see, obviously, once again, the detailing. Even though this piece, specifically, once again, the detailing, even though this piece specifically here is cropped from the original, because obviously it's not a square, it's still just as beautiful, really centering and focusing on this piece right here where the fox's main portion is its head, where you can really see most of its detail happening. But I believe the one-of-one series, it really fits it very nicely. I think it captured the emotion and feeling of the fox, especially with the darker colors. It gives more obviously of a deep fall look and feeling, which is really good overall for the fall season, especially now we're starting to get into it. So if you obviously want a fall decor piece, I would recommend this one specifically, since this would probably be good for all of fall, from Thanksgiving to through Halloween, honestly. I feel like this would do pretty well, honestly. It's got obviously the leaves, it's got the colors and everything else. Now, if I had to recommend a place to put this, of course, comment below where you would put this in a home. I would put this in a foyer. Specifically, I would put this in a foyer on one of those side tables where most people would have a mirror onto it. I would put this on a table foyer, and it would just be sitting with probably some type of support. I would not recommend just leaving it upright, even if it can stand on its own, which with the frame it's in, it can. But it's just generally not safe to have prints sitting up like that without a support. But I would recommend putting this in a foyer really nicely. It would be a very gorgeous entry, like an entrance piece, or it could go really well in a decorated, kind of like fall themed kitchen, I would feel like. But remember, if it's in a kitchen, once again, prints plus kitchen, make sure that's not next to a stovetop. I feel necessary to tell some of you guys this because I don't want any of your things to be ruined. But it's absolutely gorgeous, honestly. I love both the original and also the collector's print for this one. And honestly, I think the detail on both of these are beautiful, which I'll give you guys a gorgeous look up close once again with this. Absolutely beautiful though. Now I'll put this back. So then we can just admire this piece again. I'll retell you some information for those curious before we put it back. So once again, this piece here is Fox. That's the actual name, and obviously it's a fox. It's by the artist Amena that actually does all the art here at Amena Art. And this one specifically, the original, it has it on the back. It is a 48 by 36. So if you're trying to measure your wall, that is exactly the size this is. Very gorgeous though, a fan favorite for many years, especially around this season, since it is one of our fall themed pieces, which we don't have many of. Very gorgeous though, and I do love its gentle calmness of kind of like fall. It's very beautiful, and I do enjoy foxes. But of course, as I move this off the easel to bring out the next piece, go ahead and comment where you would have put fox, or go ahead and check out the price listings I put for you guys. It'll only take me a moment, and you might see something cool. Because we don't have everything, obviously, we're going to be showing tonight on it. But if you ask, I might be able to pull something out for you. Now, here we go. As I said, much smaller than the fox. The fox was about here. This is the size of this one. And that is because once I put this on, this is actually an older piece than the fox. This was probably done around 2020, I want to say 22. It might be done in 2023 as well with the fox, but it's probably at an earlier date in the year. Much smaller though, this is when she was doing smaller works actually, and she mainly did not want to go bigger. So instead she went smaller. Now she does much bigger pieces than this, but absolutely gorgeous to this day still. This piece though is called, what was it? I try to remember all these pieces by name. This one is called Merry Beginnings. So Merry Beginnings is obviously a gorgeous painting by the artist Amena, and honestly, it is beautiful. This painting, I've asked you guys before in some of our posts if you think it's more of a Christmas painting, or if you think it's more of a spring painting, which most of you guys agree that it is more of a Christmas themed painting instead of a spring which honestly, you would be correct. This is more of a seasonal holiday painting. And the reason why is obviously all the merry beginnings, saying merry in it. It obviously has a Christmas wreath around its head and some, I don't know, holly around its neck and body. It's very Christmas themed, other than the colors of this bright spring pinks, yellows, and blues. But honestly, this piece really represents the artist's love in interior design and home design. The reason behind that is because Christmas is actually the artist Amena K's favorite holiday, which, if you can't tell, we have a lot of Christmas themed, at least smaller pieces of hers, as well as swans. Swans actually have a relation into decor, which is not just, oh, wow, she really likes swans. It's actually a little bit deeper than that, which when we went over the interview with her on our YT channel, you can obviously see it if you want, but I'll summarize it for you. When she was describing it, it was basically that most of her house is kind of represented. It's all built around this one mansion that's here in Virginia. It's called, I believe it's the Maymont, and it is absolutely gorgeous. But the inside, there is a very historical swan bed. And I mean swan bed in the literal sense. There is a bed that is literally a swan. It was actually a master bed. It was the ladies of the house. She really loved swans. And of course, Amena, being this amazing artist, she loved the actual building itself. She loved the decor, and all the studio here in her own home is really representative of that place. So she wanted to make a piece, she wanted to make a memoir to that, and she obviously made it a swan to fit a little bit better into that for those who know. Very gorgeous though piece. I'll bring it up close for you all to really see here now. Oh. And just look at that. It is literally beautiful. You can see it's got a little bit of yellow here. The head really stands out against the background. And then of course it's got this bear wreath that kind of wraps around, very lovely, and honestly just gives a nice Christmas feel. This piece though really is one of the best pieces for like the holidays, and I really do feel like this would fit a home really well, especially for the soon-to-be Christmas season, even though obviously we always get the joke of Christmas is coming too soon. You know how it is. The moment that we get our Thanksgiving, Halloween and Christmas stuff comes out, and the reason why is because we want you guys to be able to get your stuff before the season comes, because once the season comes, it's going to be practically impossible to get anything. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, the original itself, not the best thing to store and just bring out, especially since it's a little bit costly unless you're an actual collector. But we do obviously have a print, which is my favorite part to bring out and show side by side. Now the one that I have with me tonight is actually this mini one. This is our one of one collection, which means that it's signed on the back by the artist herself, Amena K. And this one's framed very nicely for us, thankfully. And I'm going to show you guys this one. We can see a little bit of the differences between it. And obviously, this is a lot easier to store than a whole painting for Christmas. But here it is. It's a lot smaller, obviously, than the frame suggests. But that is because it has a very nice kind of like outer lining here. And it is absolutely beautiful. So the only difference majorly between this is that it's just very slightly darker. It's not very major of a difference like the fox, but it's just very slight, which I'll show you up close here for anyone that might not be able to see that well. is absolutely gorgeous. You can really see it coming together just so lovely. This would actually be a lot better for a home, obviously, to store for most homes. Of course, not all ones, but this is a lot easier to store between seasons and probably hang up than actual original painting. But of course, we do have both of them. This one though, absolutely adorable. It's super cute and it's got this nice frame for the actually one of one series. I believe we do have a few that is not part of the series, which is unframed, but you would have to look in the pinned products I've pinned for you all. Now, do make sure you get one of these before the season comes, because once that happens, it's going to be practically impossible to get one for your own, especially in the one of one series, because there is only one of these. But it's absolutely gorgeous, honestly. They're both beautiful for the season coming up here. And if I had to recommend where I would put this piece, I would put it, honestly, I would put this in a living room or dining room. I feel like it would be a nice, like, seasonal thing where you can have it hanging next to something in the dining room. It could just hang on a wall in the dining room. It could be in the, or it could be in the living room, kind of above a fireplace, as long as the fireplace isn't too hot. Remember, prints are very careful, especially these ones, since they are collectors, obviously. But you could put them on the little ledge there with obviously some support, which is tons of things that you can use to properly help it stand up straight. And it will just look very gorgeous, honestly, in a home like that, especially for a seasonal decor to bring out for the holidays. And also, I think it will be gorgeous to add like that nice bit of artistic color and also have a collector's item for it. But absolutely beautiful. I do enjoy this one a lot. And it's gorgeous. So I'll show you guys it once more up close before we finish up here. For everyone that's just joining in, make sure you check out the live shop before we close out the live, of course. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful though, and I do enjoy it. Now, we are at the end of this very short late night live. It is getting very, very late, and I have an early live with you all this morning. Tomorrow morning. It's not this morning just yet, thank goodness, but we have a live tomorrow morning where we will be going over some very fun art things, of course, because that's all we do here at Amena Art, all things art. But of course, if you want to be here, if you're an early morning person or if you're a midday or late night, we have plenty of lives that's going to be happening here in the upcoming days, so do make sure to follow, and you will obviously get a notification, or you will see us on your For You page here soon, showing off more art, talking about, and obviously all the things fun and lovely. But we are going to end up this live now here soon, so we will not be taking much more time. If you've just joined in, welcome on in. I'm very sorry that we're ending the live so soon of your arrival, but of course go through the product list if you want to see what we have in collector's prints. If you always ever see a piece in our live set that we have behind us, or even a print piece and you're interested in the original work, just reach out and we will get back to you with all the details that you might need. But I am Delphine. This is Amena Art. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and once again, make sure you follow so you do get a notification, or at least see us come up upon your page once again. And yeah, but this was a lovely night. I had tons of fun with you all, talking about art, showing off the differences between the actual originals versus the prints and everything else. But it is now late, and I hope you all have a lovely good night. Goodbye.